Hey there! I'm curious of your retrospectively funny stories. That means stories of situations that were not fun at all while they were happening, but that you now laugh about whenever you remember it. I do have some of them. Here's one. When I was 18, after 3 years of one-sided high school crush and several other minor heartbreaks, I encountered an artful, seemingly aloof guy with clearly defined jawline to fall head over heels for. I was painfully shy, so all I did was just fangirling the idea of the guy through his social media content, musing over how intriguing he was as a person, and bitterly complaining to my besties about how I didn't even dare talking to him. Needless to say that I was devastated 2 months later to discover he was dating someone else, also known as my notorious streak of having crushes on already occupied people. But I stayed sad for not too long. During a work affair at the airport, a friend of mine, we'd call him W, accidentally informed me that the jawline guy's special someone was also a guy. I laugh-cried for a good 20 minutes, rolling on the airport floor. 3 ironies follow this story. 1. My guy friend W actually dated the jawline guy sometime afterwards. 2. Moving on from the laying eyes on a 100% gay guy affair, I myself also moved on from only being an LGBTQ plus ally to also being a member of the community by finding out about my girlfriend and officially identified myself as bisexual. 3. I finally talked and actually befriended the jawline guy, and we jokingly laugh about this story now looking back on. From time to time, right after reminiscing certain memories in my head, I think about this particular passage by Agatha Christie in her autobiography. I have never been back there. I'm glad of that. A year or 2 ago, we contemplated taking a summer holiday there. I said unthinkingly, I should like to go back. It was a true statement, but then it came to me that I could not go back. One cannot ever go back to the place which exists in memory. You would not see it with the same eyes, even supposing that it should have remained much the same. What you have had, you have had. The happy highways where I went and shall not come again. Never go back to a place where you've been happy. Until you do, it remains alive for you. If you go back, it will be destroyed. This view might be a bit extreme, but really it's a legit fear. Before taking my master's degree in the UK, I got my first office job for 8 months. Despite some downs, there were mostly ups. The job were piling up gradually and quickly at last, but I loved the responsibilities and the people and the product and the overall empowering, youthful culture. Although everyone in my department knows that I eventually leave, we have joked a lot about how I'd come back postgraduate. And in reality, when I came back to Vietnam after finishing my degree, I'd received messages and calls on rejoining the team. In times like that, there was almost always an inner dialogue in my head pondering, if I came back, would it be better or at least on par with the happy experience that I used to have with this community? What if it sucked and ruined all the good memories I treasured? I've also gone through this fear in a rather more gradual, melancholic shade, with my grandmother and my childhood in her magical garden. Born and raised in Hanoi, yet I'll always go back to grandma's house in Vinh Nghệ An twice a year, for almost every single year growing up. My mom is the youngest child in a family of 7 siblings, so imagine when I was in grade 2 how fun it was to be surrounded by a wild crowd of cousins, and also imagine the subtle heavy-heartedness when the inevitable happened. The more years pass by, the less of my cousin come back to my grandma's place. Even so, as my mommy Isaac later has said, we may fear about ruining the happy memory of ours, but we indeed will see it with new light. I did not go back to Grandma's house for the thrilling fun with cousins involving lighting up illegal fireworks and riding one bike with 4 other people anymore, but to find peace of mind with conversations with Grandma, leisurely garden strolls, and space away to read and reflect. Like a brilliant quote from January Sun, days I've wandered, places I've already been, just to realize how much I've changed. At the end of a 2015 poem on my prolonged high school crush, there were lines inspired by Taylor's I Almost Do. 'Cause I cannot say hello to you and risk another goodbye. In retrospect, goodbyes to me are not that bad anymore. What happened, happened. We've got nothing to lose and everything to discover. Just dare to say hello. Hello to new things. Hello to old things once more. Hello.